You know, over the years, there have been some dark Hulk stories. In this whole Hulk series that we've been covering by Philip K. Johnson, it's gone to some dark places. But out of the 26 other issues that we've covered in this series so far, this one just might be the darkest yet. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. But also, if you've been enjoying these videos, be sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and don't forget to hit that bell up top to get all notifications. Alright, so coming back, this picks up just after Charlie had traveled to the Hulkscape in her attempt to reach out to Bruce, which only led to her discovering how twisted the Hulkscape is, which then caused her to go from saying we're not the monsters they say we are, to her saying we are just like the monsters we've killed, to where after that she took off, leaving the Hulk by himself. And throughout issue 27, I want you guys to keep in mind what Charlie told the Hulk here, because this one really hits different when you know where the Hulk's at this point. But going into this, we pick up in Tennessee in week 1 of 4. With a kid named Petey who's really just out here being a kid, with him having an imaginary sword fight with a stick. But while he's out here on his adventure, he ends up finding the Hulk, who looks so peaceful in this moment. And I can imagine if you're someone who's just jumping into the story here, you're probably wondering why the Hulk hasn't turned back into Banner. And the reason why is throughout the story, Hulk's come to the place where he's not allowing Banner to come back. So this kid just ends up asking him here, how'd you get so big? And Hulk tells him, you're just small. And as Hulk starts to go on his way, the kid tells him, these are my woods, I play here. And he shows the Hulk this drawing he had done before, on a tree of his mom, his little sister, and their bus, just before telling the Hulk his name is Petey and asking if they would like to be friends, which for a moment causes the Hulk to remember the words of Charlie just before she stormed off, when she said that they're monsters just like the stuff they killed, and it causes Hulk to respond to Petey's friend request with a resounding no. But as Hulk continues to walk away from this kid, Petey tells him, you shouldn't go that way. It goes by the falling down tree. You shouldn't go there. So next, Hulk asks the question that I think most of us would have asked from the jump, because Hulk just looks at him and he's like, why are you by yourself? So Petey tells him, our bus is close to here. We live in it. Me, mama, daddy, and baby sister. And he goes on to explain his situation to the Hulk by letting him know that his dad builds stuff. So when his dad gets a job in a new town, they use their bus to go there. But sometimes when his dad gets angry, they gotta leave again. And as soon as this kid mentions the part about them having to leave when his dad gets angry, this has the Hulk curious. So when Petey hears something and he's like, oh, that's mom, gotta go. And we'll make more sense of the mom thing in a moment. But as Petey rushes back, he tells Hulk, you can stay in my woods, we're friends now. I won't tell nobody. Just don't go by the falling down tree. But instead of just staying there, the Hulk follows this kid back out of concern. And of course, the Hulk's footsteps are anything but silent. So the kid's mom asks the dad, what's that booming noise? Because they hear the approaching boom sound of the Hulk just walking around. And the dad responds to her saying, hell would I know? Nothing to do with us. But even with the Hulk taking a look at Petey's whole situation here, Hulk doesn't notice anything too abnormal, so he just leaves them be. And after this, when we jump over to week 2, we find out that Hulk and Petey have been hanging out in Petey's forest, and while the kid's just tossing his ball up against the tree and catching it, he asks the Hulk, are you a hero? Like the Revengers? And Hulk is just like, no. And the kid goes on to tell him, if you was, I was gonna see if you can get us a house with a TV in it. Dad just got us a bunch of game stations. Sometimes when Daddy's builder friends bring him back from work, they've got a bunch of stuff, money and computers and stuff. They take it on the bus and look at it, and Daddy gets to keep some of it. He just got a bunch of game stations, they're super awesome. They don't work on the bus because there's no electricity or TV or anything. When we get a TV in the house, Mama said we're gonna, but on the next throw, Petey misses the tree and the ball goes flying. And it causes the kid to go into quite the panic for a moment here. So Hulk tells him it's just over there. Get it? You gotta love the way that Hulk talks to children. But Petey tells him, I can't. And that's when Hulk realizes that the ball had went over to the falling down tree. So Hulk asks, why do you care about that stupid tree? But Petey doesn't give him an answer. He drops his head and says, I just wish we had a house with a TV in it. That's all. And now this takes us over to week 3, which is where things escalate quite a bit. Because in week 3, on one particular evening, while the Hulk is just out here in Petey's woods, Banner, who's basically trapped inside the Hulk at the moment, tells the Hulk that he had lied to the kid. And the Hulk more or less tells him that he didn't lie, because they're not a hero. And I mean, technically, Petey asked if they're a hero like the Revengers. So when Hulk said no, he was keeping it 100. But what Bruce is really getting to here is the fact that they could be again, because they both know that family isn't safe with Petey's dad, and they could help them. And this just has Hulk saying help. You mean like how we helped Charlie? Because ever since Charlie decided to tag along with the Hulk, that kid has been finding trouble around every corner. And Bruce responds to this saying here, Charlie's a monster now like us because of us, but she thought we could be heroes too. And Bruce asks here, does she have to be wrong? But this conversation is interrupted by a loud shriek, followed by someone in the distance saying, what do you think? He shot at us. Idiot, Travis is shot. So Hulk goes to check it out, because it's coming from the same place where he saw Petey head back to his family over by their bus, where recently Petey's dad just came racing back in the red truck. And this continues with the mom saying, what do you mean shot? Like he's dead? And the dad says, he ain't here, is he? 2 cop cars were on the highway. We gotta move the bus right now. Get all of that stuff strapped down. We're leaving in 2 minutes. And the mom's like, we can't. The baby's sick. We can't leave now. How will we even find this place again? And that's where the dad says, we ain't ever coming back here. The guy saw my face. This place is burnt for us. And it's right there where the mom's like, well then, we're not leaving. We can't leave Petey. You can't just leave him. And it's here where Petey tells Hulk that his dad's angry again. And that means that they have to leave. And right now, it's right here where things start to click for the Hulk. Because he's like, leave him? And he even asks Petey, what does his mom mean by leave? And things get even crazier with his parents following this. Because next his mom is like, we can't leave him, we gotta move him or tell someone. And Petey's dad just goes off like his mom is doing this because she wants him to go to jail or something. And dude even puts his hands on her. And I'm not gonna show too much here, but the dad ends up giving Petey's mom an ultimatum, where it's like either she can stay here and call her mother, or she can hop in the truck and leave with him. And this leads to Petey's mom saying, I stayed after everything. I stayed, and now you're gonna leave? I won't leave my Petey under that tree. And when the mom says this, man, now it's clear as day. But even still, the Hulk makes his way over to the falling down tree. And even though the Hulk knows what's going on at this point, it's almost like he's taking a look just to get confirmation. And when the Hulk gets to the tree, he takes a look up underneath and he sees this little lifeless hand reaching up from the dirt. And almost immediately, the Hulk hears a gasp behind him, and it's Petey's mom. And right away, she tells Hulk that it wasn't her. And when the Hulk turns around, and you can tell he's pissed, because we've talked about Bruce's childhood, which could have ended this way. But the mom goes on to say here, please don't kill us. I'll keep Ashley safe, the younger daughter. I'll take her to my mom's. I'll tell the police what my husband's done. I'll turn myself in. I'll tell them where Petey is. I can make it right. Please don't kill me. I'm not a monster. Which from here takes us back over to Petey's dad, who's taken the bus and left his family behind, and dude's racing down the highway. But as he's going, he starts to hear those sounds again. But like before, he doesn't know what it is, and he's assuming that it's something with the engine. But as we know, those boom sounds mean that the Hulk is in motion. And when the Hulk catches up with this bus, he smacks it so hard that it just goes flying before it tumbles a few times out over into a field. And eventually when it stops, dude is still alive. And his name's Henry, by the way, but who cares? But while he's trapped inside this wreckage, a broken fuel line makes contact with a loose cable, igniting this huge fire. And the next thing this guy sees is the Hulk peel this bus open. And when he sees the Hulk, he's like, no, you're not real. And the Hulk, who is so pissed right now, Hulk tells him he's still out there in the woods. A monster killed him. And Hulk just keeps saying, monster, monster, monster. And the dude's just got a shotgun, he's letting it off. But we already know it's over for this guy, because that shotty ain't finna do nothing for him. And as mad as the Hulk is right now, this dude is done. And as he's burning alive, the Hulk gets a few licks in for good measure, and that is the end of this dude Henry. But I also want to throw in here, towards the end of this story, we learn a bit more about Henry Lang by way of the eldest, who describes him as a monster who's known by both her and the Mother of Horrors. Because even with him being considered to be one of the mother's children, he didn't have powers like the others, and he was no stronger than his feeble skin. But even still, he was considered a child of the mother because he carried a seed that laid in his mind and his blackest appetites. He was a killer of travelers and children. At one point, he manipulated the woman who would become Petey's mother by taking everything away from her until she only had him. And there's a part where the eldest says here, now Henry Lang has met the fractured son. To his sorrow, punished for his crimes, his ashes lay scattered in the mud and the trees, and not even his surviving child will know his name. By the time spring comes, he will utterly be forgotten by the world of men. But I remember you, Henry Lang, butcher of innocence. Our Mother of Horrors remembers you. My brother who comes to our house through violence, excess, or madness is no less my brother. Though you do not live to see our age of monsters, know that it begins before the next cycle of the moon, and that your killer will be the one to usher it into the world. So again, like we've talked about throughout this whole series, this is the eldest who's been trying to use the Hulk as a key to bring back the Mother of Horrors. And even though at the start of this, she called for all sorts of monsters far and wide to bring the Hulk to her, which for the past 26 issues has shown us so many monsters, both familiar and unfamiliar. But one thing that we've learned along the way is that there's this huge spectrum between those monsters who are more formidable, those who have heard the call and they've answered. Others heard the call and they paid it no mind. Then you have some like Henry Lang, for example, who have the seed, they're connected to the eldest and the Mother of Horrors, but the eldest and the mother could really care less for them, almost as if they don't see much of any value in them. But after this, we head into week 4, where Petey's mom, she's done exactly what she said she was gonna do. She got the police involved so they could come and get the body. And for a moment here, while Hulk is talking to Petey, I also want to bring up here, and some of you guys may already know, especially if you've been watching the channel for a while and following my Hulk coverage, where in that case, I guess this will just be a little reminder. But back during Civil War II in the tie-in, The Fallen issue 1, after Bruce Banner was killed by Hawkeye, we got this moment where Daredevil, as Bruce's lawyer, was sharing Bruce's will to his family, loved ones, and close friends. And when it came to the part in Bruce's recording where he was addressing what he would be leaving with Doctor Strange, Bruce mentioned how the Hulk could see ghosts. And because Bruce couldn't find a scientific explanation, he left all his research on the topic to Doctor Strange. And it's a phenomenon that's been hinted at here and there for a long time. And more recently, it was a huge thing when we covered Immortal Hulk. But I wanted to just bring it up as a reminder so people don't think that Philip K. Johnson's just pulling it out of thin air. But now that we come back to week 4, Petey's trying to figure out where does he go from here, since his little sister's going to live with their grandma. So he asks Hulk if he should go too and look after her. And Hulk tells him you should go where you want. There's no rules when nobody's looking for you. And after that, he tells Petey that he was sorry that he was too late to help. But the way the kid sees it, Hulk still saved his baby sister Ashley. And he says to Hulk, that's hero stuff. You can stay in my woods if you want to. Just before handing Hulk his ball, to where next Petey heads over to his little sister, who can also see him. As he goes on to say, I'm gonna go with sister and teach her hero stuff too. So yeah, just going back to what Charlie said about her and Hulk being monsters, it's kind of crazy how it all comes down to what's in someone's heart and the decisions that they make. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like and share your thoughts in the comments. And so now real quick, I want to give a special shout out to all the patrons. Thank you guys for all of your support. And for anyone who's new here who wants more information on how to support the channel, I got a link below where you can go to patreon.com/dopespill. But that'll do it for this one, guys. Woo! This Hulk series is dark. But that'll do it for this one. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and we'll do it again on the next one. Alright, later.